Okay, here we go. It's been a little while since I've posted any updates. I've filmed some videos and just not put them up. So I'll try maybe and put some of that footage up at some point. Just been a little bit busy getting back into uni, putting together curriculums and so on. It's always very fun. And this is my first week of classes again. I've got 6 classes of happy, motivated students, all going to do their best, I'm sure. So that's what's been keeping me occupied. Whenever I've had computer time, it hasn't been so much going into video rendering as into making sure that that all the handouts were ready and so on. Speaking of handouts, I've got so much stapling to do today, but I'll get to that once I get there. Once I get to the office, I'll get out all the copies and start stapling. So, what's been going on at the moment? We went back to Awajishima a couple of times in the camper van. Great fun. We didn't go back to the same park, unfortunately, but we got to see lots of other places as well. We went to one that's called something like Kyoshoku Wellness Camp or something like that, which is basically, it has a big park, it has camping grounds, and it has an onsen, or a hot bath, basically, which was very popular with everybody. It was a windy day too. It was too windy really for tents or anything, so lucky we had the camper van. But it was a great day for flying kites, and we just happened to bring kites with us, so yay. Well done us. Here we go. Okay, slightly different road than I'm usually on when I'm filming this. I'm actually on my way to university. Usually when I film this, I'm not. I've been filming this during the holiday, I think. So today, I only have to teach 2 lessons. I'll be teaching them first period and second period. Oh, it's like being back at university, isn't it? You know, hearing about that first period, second period. Teach those. And then I've actually got to come back and I'm teaching a private lesson. I have one student who's been with our kindergarten for a long time. He's not a kindergartner anymore. He's almost finished elementary school, I think. But he's studying for the various different English tests that they have in Japan. One in particular called the Eiken test, which is only relevant to schools in Japan. But nonetheless, it's an important test to have on your resume so you can get into a good school. Yes, it's basically elementary school kids have a resume just to apply to different schools. It's ridiculous. So I'm helping him with the Eiken test, but also he's a huge fan of Harry Potter, which is fantastic. So we're going through Harry Potter. I think he may have just finished Goblet of Fire. We were very close to the end last time I saw him. It's been a couple of weeks since then. Goblet of Fire was one of my favorites. But basically, you know, if you've read it, I don't want to spoil it, but, you know, the books have been out for ages and the movie's even longer. So if you haven't seen it, it's entirely your fault. But Goblet of Fire is such an emotional roller coaster. Cedric is built up to be a really heroic character, and we really care about Cedric. He's done a lot. He cares, you know, he helps Harry, saves Harry's life so many times. But, well, in the end, the inevitable happens. So it's a great book in that respect. And perhaps dealing with that, or being unable to properly deal with that, partially explains Harry's angst, which is one of the reasons why I didn't particularly like the Order of the Phoenix. When Harry is just angry the whole time at everybody and takes everything the wrong way. Now, as realistic as that might be for awkward teenage years, it's difficult to read, and it just wasn't as enjoyable as the others. The others all had their ups and downs. They had those golden moments where Ron does something hilarious and Hermione gets angry at him. Order of the Phoenix, it's just, and then you add to that, Harry will get angry at them for no real reason. Oh, this is probably the worst intersection I could have come to, by the looks of it. Okay, and I'll go across with your dog. Don't often see Labradors here, but there's a lady there with a Labrador. Big dogs have a hard time in Japan where living space is small. At least in Australia, perhaps not most people, but it's very possible for people to have a yard, and so that the dog doesn't go absolutely nuts during the day. And we're lucky enough to have a yard now, but even so, I wouldn't get a big dog. But then I say that coming from a farm, so perhaps I'm a little bit biased in that particular respect. But anyway, back to Harry Potter. So the change then from Harry, perhaps precipitated by Cedric's death, is interesting. I mean, there's other things going on. People won't talk to him, and you see that in a lot of Diana Wynne Jones books. That's a very common theme, is people not talking and not communicating, and so there's all this information, and that's the frustration. The characters have to, when they eventually find out everything, then that's kind of the resolution at the end. But with Harry, he just doesn't think. He deliberately takes things the wrong way in those books, which, it tells me that he wants to be angry. He wants to feel these emotions and try and deal with them. If you go through the different stages of grief that they talk about, anger is one of the first ones, but it takes, the anger goes on and on with Harry, so I suspect it's something more. I suspect he's finally mature enough to come to grips with his situation. Cedric's death makes it more real. And at the same time, even when his friends try to communicate with him, he's not open, he's not receptive, because he wants to, he's feeling these emotions, he feels like he should feel them, and so he finds any excuse to reinforce those feelings. Oh, Harry. Okay, we're back online. The battery ran out before, so you didn't get to hear me ramble on about Harry Potter for too long. Probably just as well. I like Harry Potter, and perhaps I like it more than the average amount that people like Harry Potter, so I might talk about it for a bit too long. Okay, but having said that, coming back to everything right now, it's oh jeez, I can't even remember everything I said before, but back at university, teaching classes again. I've got some very good classes this year. Student motivation makes a huge difference when it comes to how well a class goes. And, as a teacher, you can try to help. You can always do your best and try to motivate students. But when you walk into a class and you ask a question and you are drowning in a sea of hands raised, when the students really bring that much energy to the class, it makes your job as a teacher so much easier. Lots of roadworks around here at the moment. The camera's pointed in exactly the wrong direction to see it, but wow. There's people, they've dug a hole waist deep, and they're standing in the middle, literally in the middle of the road. No, you won't be able to see that in the rear view either, sorry. You'll just have to take my word for it. It was amazing. Okay, so yeah, student motivation. These students are very motivated. It's a great class. There's perhaps one of my classes, one group of students, I think it's going to be a bit challenging. They've somehow made it to 4th year, and so their level of skill is not as high as it should be for a student in their 4th year majoring in English. We'll see. But then they're just back from the holidays, so I'll give them some leeway. They're probably, when I remember my first week back from holidays when I was a student, and I was never quite on the ball then. You're always optimistic, but you've forgotten everything that you were supposed to be studying. So, high hopes for my classes at the moment. Hopefully we'll be going camping again very soon too. I've got on this camera right here, the one that you're viewing me through, I've got heaps of camping videos that I haven't put up. Maybe I'll put together a montage at some point, and you can have an idea and see what we were doing, maybe. Okay, anyway, that should be enough for now. I've got to get this one up. It's been a long time since I put one up. Hopefully, I'll get another one up again soon. Thank you.